Powerful in Marvel canon, but underpowered in Marvel Strike Force. I'm Josh Brandon, SirTalksALot, with my list of the most powerful Marvel characters who are actually the most underpowered in Marvel Strike Force. Let's get one of the powerhouses out of the way first. First up is Black Bolt, or as I like to call him, Blackle Bolton. First off, Mr. Sinister can pretty much clone your own whole Black Bolt, but still, Black Bolt is the most powerful toon in the game, hands down. There's no more valuable toon than a maxed up Black Bolt. If for no other reason, he whispers away the nearly dead opponents. For me, there's no better counter for a heal-happy Doc Ock than a barely breathing Blackle Bolton. Powerful AF in the games, powerful AF in the comics. Underrated? Not even by a long shot. But for me, he sets the standard for a legendary toon representative of where he stands on the all-time power rankings and where he stands in the game. He's attainable for most players after a reasonable amount of time playing. And for me, that's what separates him from, say, Doctor Doom. It goes without saying that Doctor Doom is one of the most powerful villains of all time. With his availability so restricted at this point, let's just acknowledge that he even exists in the game. Needless to say, his toon is dominating from what I've seen. Ultron was going to be on this list, but the Red Star announcement means your 80k plug-and-play Ultron now gets to hold his own on your team of 100-plus powerhouses. With Ultron, he's a game-changer for sure, and a hell of a lot of fun to use. I think if Hela had a different undead spawn, like Ultbots, it would make her match her comic prowess a little better. There was a time that, remember not too long ago, when Hela was the game-changer. At least she's farmable now. I would put her on this list, except that she isn't really considered one of the most powerful Marvel characters in canon, but she's definitely a top-tier damage doer in the game. So I feel that balances it out. This list is for what I feel is the imbalance. My first legendary toon on this underpowered, underrated list is Phoenix. Before the hate comments, let me explain. Yes, Dark Phoenix is dominating. I mean, unless she's had ability block applied or gets hit with a Black Bolt or, well, let's just say Dark Phoenix, when she works. My problem is really Jean Grey. I feel like Jean Grey's underpowered in the game. Emma Frost is powered higher than Jean Grey. And consider what other toons are more powerful than Jean Grey in the game. Jean Grey herself could be a legendary. Dark Phoenix? It's beyond empowered. I feel like the standard for badassery was set with Black Bolt as a damn near unbeatable legendary. It just seems with Jean Grey, you have a much weaker representative of a very powerful mutant. Dark Phoenix is badass, but Jean Grey is nowhere near what she should be. I think, to match the character better, Jean Grey should hold her own a little more. Dark Phoenix shouldn't come so fast. The son of Odin rides the lightning at the next spot on my list, Thor. He's the son of Odin. He's a literal god. The Asgardian of the galaxy is, in Marvel mythos, one of the all-time most powerful beings. Yet in the game, a reasonably beefed up Thunder Thumper isn't all that threatening without his friends. In fact, you almost never see a top team in the arena with a plug-and-play Thor. He could and should be a legendary, which maybe tells us plans for Odin are in the works. Captain Marvel marks the spot on the list just behind Thor. She's one of the most powerful characters in all of Marveldom, and she's powerful in Strike Force. However, for as powerful as she is in the comics, maybe legendary status would have been warranted. At least legendary level power. She's dominating and farmable. Best part about her, pretty plug and play. She isn't on this list for any other reason than she's so incredibly overpowered in Marvel canon. I just don't think she gets similar status in the game. I don't know if that's possible. Thanos is problematic for me on this list. He's dominatingly powerful, more so with the Black Order. And that's the problem. He's farmable, that's a good thing. However, just like Danvers and Thor, Thanos in the game isn't as powerful as his comics counterpart. In fact, a Black Bolt, Ultron, Thor, Captain Marvel, Thanos combo would put down just about any bad guy in any canon. While pretty powerful by himself, Thanos really needs his Black Order to shine into a fraction of what he is in the comic book reality, even without the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, I'm ready for some comments about the next few on my list, starting with Hulk. First off, the characters in the game at this time, Hulk is one of the most powerful of those who is in the comics, but really disappointing in the game. So his powers in the comics, he's dominating. In the game, Set as a milestones pickup, Hulk's just not something anybody aspires to get. He fits with few teams and is just really underpowered for what he actually is in the comics. We can hope for a rework when more Hulkverse characters come out, but as of now, with Bruce and his cousin Jennifer, I'm just not impressed. Plus, it's hard to deliver Hulkverse without giving a Scar, who is more powerful than his dominating dad. I'm cheating here with two characters in one slot because I believe them to be similar enough, not in powers, but in general underpoweredness. Juggernaut and Wolverine. These are two toons who are very powerful in the comics. Now look, I wouldn't put either one of them against Thanos or Phoenix, but while Wolverine has had his hairy ass handed to him on more than one occasion, Broski gets knocked down, then he gets up again. You're never gonna keep him down. The fact that so many major baddies have had their way with Wolverine, he's still around, tells you Wolvie's not just a fan fave, dude's got some business being on a strongest character list. In the game, he's sort of a non-factor, an ex-afterthought. Juggernaut, the lost boy of the Mutant Brotherhood, not a mutant, and the wrong brother. However, he's powerful in Marvel canon. In fact, you just can't stop the guy once he sets his mind to something. He's a powerful mid-level toon, but honestly, both of these characters could use some tweaking to get them up to canon level. The next two are similar and arguably powerful in their own rights. These two are the absolute most underpowered in the game, hands down. With Scarlet Witch able to just rewrite reality, literally, and Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, between those two, what else would compare? Magical Mayhem should beat Crossbone Suicide Bomb. No one would argue that Mr. Sinister isn't one of the most powerful characters in the comics. He's just not, by far. But the Mutant Geneticist is one of the most powerful toons in the game. When maxed out, his blasts are devastating, he heals, and he clones opponents. One would think Wanda's reality rework could see her creating Vision or another character out of thin air to assist. Or a better idea, to rewrite the opposing team. All of a sudden, your Black Bolt is now the AIM monstrosity. Wanda is just grossly underpowered with nothing really creative about her. She heals, and for that, she was an early prospect for me. Doctor Strange is second on the list of no particular order, but wherever Wanda is, you can bet Strange is right behind her on most of them. He is Sorcerer Supreme. Some might argue who's stronger between these two, but either way, Strange is in the game. Well, he's just a punchline to a really sad joke. For one of the coolest characters ever in all of comics, and one of the most powerful as well, his toon is so lame. It's just piercing, heal and revive, sure, but his powers and overall workings are just unimpressive for one of the most impressive characters. My bet is your Strange is knocked out before you can even use heal. Between Strange and Scarlet Witch, I really would think this game would get more creative. Maybe it's a magic prejudice. The last on this list, you guessed it, Squirrel Girl. Honestly, as a character, I never paid her much attention. She was a quirky kid's character like Spider-Ham. But canon is canon and she's pretty popular, so let's face it, she's bested Thanos, Doctor Doom, and some of the most powerful characters in comics. She is, after all, unbeatable. Except she isn't. While I've faced a Doreen or two who've been frustrating or even unbeatable in an instance, all in all, she isn't a toon you're going to want to max out and plop in a lineup next to Phoenix, Black Bolt, and your symbiote Spider-Man. Honorable mention, of course, goes to Ultimus, the game's big bad. While I just found out embarrassingly recently that Ultimus is an actual canon character from the 70s comics, his prominence in the game would seem to make him a Thanos-level threat at least. That is not what you get with Ultimus in this game. I'm SirTalksALot. Like, share, and subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force.